So you finally got your first camera and you're ready to photograph cosplayers, but where do you even start with something like that? When I first started, I couldn't really find a lot of information about cosplay photography specifically. So I wanted to share with you what I learned over the years by standing both in front and behind the camera. So you're probably wondering, what's the best gear? What should I get? Honestly, when you're just starting out, a cheaper DSLR like this one and the kit lens, so the lens that comes with it, is usually a pretty good start. The only problem with this setup is that the kit lens isn't always that great with low light situations, like for example a poorly lit convention room. In that case, I would really recommend getting this lens. Look at her, focus on her, yes. She is a moment. This is the 50mm 1.8 lens. Yeah, it's a lens. I did that, good job, I'm a photographer. Because of the 1.8 aperture, it lets in a lot of light and usually can work pretty well in indoor situations as well. And why the 50mm one specifically? Well, it's the cheapest. You can get it pretty easily secondhand, so that's also very nice. The only problem is that the 50mm makes it so that it's pretty cropped. So if you want to take a full body picture of a cosplayer, you have to stand quite far away. This can sometimes be a problem at convention centers because there's either not a lot of room or there are a lot of people and it's really busy and everyone's walking into frame. So it's always better to also have your kit lens with you so you can kind of shuffle them around in these kind of moments to find out what works best for you. A little extra tip that I have is to get yourself one of these. Focus. We want to see it. This is a makeup product. Yes, let's go. This is a phone mount and you can attach it to the top of your camera in what is called the hot shoe. You can take behind the scenes on your phone while you're shooting, which I usually think is pretty cool. Do ask the model that you're shooting for permission to do this though. You got all your gear ready and now there's only one thing really missing, and that is a cosplay model. So how do you get one? Well, the easiest way to do it is to go to a convention, of course, because there's lots of cosplayers walking around. It can be a little bit daunting to approach a cosplayer at first, so here are some tips on how I do it. First of all, you want to start by looking if they're either resting or eating, or maybe they are in a hurry, because if that's the case, just kind of leave them alone. They're probably busy with either resting, relaxing, or maybe in a hurry to get to a panel. So in that case, just pick another cosplayer to shoot. If you approach a cosplayer, introduce yourself first and then you can give them a compliment about their costume to break the ice. For example, hi, I'm Maddie. I'm a cosplay photographer and I would love to take a photo of you. Your wig is amazing. I love the way you styled it. I need to capture it if you're okay with that. Make sure that if you're moving to another spot to take the photo, that you invite the group the cosplayer is with along. Because if you just take the cosplayer with you, it can be a little bit creepy and you don't want to be creepy, so invite their friends along, yay. And in case you find it a little bit awkward or you're not getting a lot of response, you can always ask if someone would like to help you assist during the photo shoot. People usually love to help and it gives them a little task, and it's always better to let a friend of the cosplayer fix their costume than you, a stranger, doing it. Makes everything a little bit more comfortable. Now that you have the cosplayer standing in front of your camera, what do you do next? Here are some tips on how to take good photos straight out of camera, really. First off, you want to start with a pose. I usually use a Pinterest board where I just save some basic cosplay poses that can be applied to a lot of different fandoms and shows. And when you have a reference, you can also show that to the cosplayer and show them what you actually have in mind. For you, it's important to pick something that both fits the vibe of the character and also something that doesn't hide any important parts of their costume. Once you have the pose down, it's time to actually take the photos. Posing for someone else while you cannot really see yourself can feel pretty vulnerable for most people. So it's very nice to give the cosplayer that's posing for you some encouragement. Just stay vocal, like, yes, you look great, oh, this looks so badass, oh, this is going great, like really helps build some confidence in the cosplayer. And you will see when you do it that the cosplayer will usually stand up a little bit more straight and like gain a little bit of confidence. It's really nice. If there are any flowy things, like maybe a cape or like a long skirt or maybe long wig hair, you can ask the aforementioned assistant to help you swoosh it around a little bit so you can get some more cool dynamic photos. Do make sure to adjust your shutter speed so you don't get motion blur if you do something like that. And last but not least, if there's a defect going on with the costume, apply the 5-minute rule. If you think something can be fixed in 5 minutes, like maybe a lash that's like half hanging off or a wig that can be pulled to the front, you can just mention it and maybe you can fix it then. If it takes longer than 5 minutes to fix something, maybe some part of the costume ripped, just don't mention it and try to do the cosplayer a favor by picking an angle where you cannot see the wardrobe malfunction. I really hope that these tips and tricks helped you a little bit along the way to start with cosplay photography. And these things are pretty basic, so if you would like to see more advanced tips like how to work with lighting, or maybe something like color grading in post, comment it down below. I would love to know. Thank you so much for watching and hopefully until next time, bye!